Because without any of you people, there's been nobody to tattoo, and we wouldn't get to do what we love for a living. So I want to thank everybody that's here that's enjoying the show, all right? Thank you, guys.
Chris Torres, and what is the first tattoo you ever got, and do you still have it?
Yeah, I do. This is the first tattoo I ever got right here. Child of the 90s, so tribal happened to me.
Absolutely.
You know? if you got tattooed in the 90s, you got a piece of tribal, especially in New York City. Somebody had actually offered to remove it for me for free.
Uh-huh.
And, you know, I mean, it's pretty poorly done. It's old. It's not that great, you know. It's tribal, which I'm not a big fan of doing or looking at. And somebody offered to remove it for me for free, a pretty reputable laser specialist, I guess you call him. And I couldn't get rid of it. You know, it's been there with me for almost 17 years. I'll suggest laser treatments in extreme cases.
Like what?
Maybe suppose, like if they have like a lot of dark tattoos up and down their arm, and maybe they're not very big, so they don't have a lot of room to work around. You know, or if it's really dark and it's up at the top, you know. So again, there's not a lot of room around it to surround it with anything. You know. So in that case, I might suggest maybe one laser treatment.
How long have you been in the industry tattooing?
I started tattooing in October of '96. Started out in my parents' basement. They were nice enough to let me use the basement. They'd always been real supportive of my art. I've been drawing since I was a kid. I was actually among the first group of tattoo artists in New York City to sit in front of Mayor Giuliani, be welcomed above ground, to receive a license. I actually owned, I mean, this and 250 will get me on the bus, but I actually owned the first legal street shop in Manhattan.
Oh, really?
Yeah, since 1961. It was called Alphabet City Studios. There were tattoo shops that were there already, but technically, they were coffee shops. They were, because you couldn't run a tattoo shop. So there was Fun City on St. Mark's, which was a coffee shop by the books. And then there was Studio Enigma out in Brooklyn, which also was a coffee shop, according to the books, you know, for legal reasons.
What was it like walking on set that first day? And
It was, I didn't get sleep for about 3 days probably. I actually have a picture on my phone with the bags under my eyes, and you know, nobody thinks it's a big deal going in front of a camera, and then you're like, holy shit, like the whole world is gonna see me tomorrow. You know what I mean? Like I'm gonna show the entire world what I'm capable of, you know what I mean? You can't really second guess yourself at that point. I was a big fan of Tim Hendricks way before he was on Miami Ink. Which he had appeared on before in New York Ink. You know, I've been tattooing long enough. He was definitely a tattoo artist whose work I respected and looked up to. That being said, going on this show, signing a contract that said docuseries and all that, I was excited. You know, it was like, here's our chance, you know, and here's our chance to finally come above ground, show the rest of the world what we're capable of. You know what I mean? Maybe match up with San Francisco, that's dubbed the epicenter of tattooing. You know what I mean?
And then what happened?
Come to find out, you get to the show, apparently, you know, people have better ideas, and they seem to think that, you know, the life and times of other characters on the show were more interesting than New York City's tattoo history. So it had nothing to do with New York City. Had nothing to do with tattooing at all. It didn't even feature anyone else from New York City.
If you look back at when you first started and now, what has changed in the industry for the better?
For the better, I feel that it's more accepted now. First off, you know, you got a lot of people that complain about, oh, it's on TV, you know. I told someone last night, you could either be like Al Bundy and bitch and moan that coach didn't put you in third quarter, or you could start rolling with the punches. You know what I mean? Because it's, you know, there's no sense dwelling on the past. This is the way it is. This is the way it's going. Just go with it. And, you know, personally, I think it's better. You know what I mean? I think it's, you know, because if you're good enough, then you don't have to worry about it. You know what I'm saying? What's the big deal? You're not going to go past the wayside if you're good enough. If your work holds up and you're a quality artist, who gives a shit where it goes? Because you should be right on top of it. You know what I mean?
Where are you tattooing now?
I tattoo at a place called Inborn Tattoo. It's on 85 Ludlow Street between Broome and Delancey. That's the Lower East Side of Manhattan. I've been there since 2007. Again, another misconception of the show made me look like I needed a job. I was cast to be on the show, and I didn't need a job. So
I want to thank you a lot for your time.
No problem.
And this is a great conversation.
I
appreciate all the history you bring to the industry. It's amazing.